This Christmas, I took the time to really slow down and enjoy the holidays. It was great not having the hustle and bustle. It was a time for snow, lights, and family. When in Rhode Island, no Christmas would be complete without stopping to see the tremendous light display put on by Praise Tabernacle in Cranston. And on September 23rd, we got another snowfall to ensure that we would have the first white Christmas in a long time.
Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." In the stress of life, find rest in Jesus. This Christmas season and through the next year, when you turn to Jesus, you'll find comfort and joy.
I'm gonna come. Oh, that's cool. Hello.
What light has come, and the dark cannot contain it. The Savior of the world is finally, hallelujah. Rise, Lord, oh come, let us adore Him.
Well, good morning and Merry Christmas, everyone. I got the coffee on. Looks like we're going to have a white Christmas after all here in Northern Rhode Island. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm not one to make New Year's resolutions, and we all know the reason why. The second Friday of January is known as Quitter's Day. That's when most people just give up on their resolutions, and I learned a long time ago that resolutions just don't stick. But looking back on 2024, if you followed me at all, you know I went through some really difficult times. I had some good times too, but I went through some really difficult times, and I said that I'm going to start 2025 with a clean slate. I'm just going to forget about everything in the past. It's just going to be about starting fresh, starting new. And in one of my videos, I had said that I had made a list. I was going to give myself the last 2 weeks in November and the entire month of January to put that list into motion so that I could start 2025 clean. Unfortunately, there were some events that had occurred during December, so I had a little bit of a setback. I didn't really complete a lot of things on that list, so I figure it's probably going to take me through mid-January to complete those items and to make sure that I start fresh. But I'm going into 2025 with a totally new perspective, a totally new everything, a new reliance on God. And it's going to be about starting over. A lot of things have changed during 2024. There's a lot of challenges that's going to happen, and I'm also going to be striving to leading more and more a simplistic life, just not worrying every day about things, not trying to get frustrated about things, just trying to do what I can to lead a simplistic life and like to get involved more in the community, but we'll see how that goes as things progress. Okay, so where are we at on this list that I had created? The first one was totally clean my office and create a true working studio. That is probably about halfway done. I moved the keyboard away from the window over to the wall over there so that the sun would not be hitting it, dealing with some storage issues, taking stuff out and going through it, see what I'm going to sell and get rid of. The thing about the cameras that I'm going to get into when I talk about the video gear from ministry, but yeah, I'm pretty much about halfway done with the office. Totally downsize and sell, give away, donate everything you're not using. That's been a work in progress for a long time now. Getting down to the end of it, so I'm still got to go through and see what didn't work for me over the last year or two, what gear I'm going to get rid of, other stuff I'm just not using. Start a Christian podcast. I am definitely working on that. That has been started. I'm probably about 10 or so videos in, and so far it seems like it's getting mixed reception on as far as the views. I would like the views to be higher, but it's off to a good start, so that's pretty much I'll give that as a done. Get a job. Well, we know how 2024 went with my back injury, my FCE, and that's going to be a tough one because I am like more limited now physically, but I've also looked at a lot of stores have closed since the middle of December or the end of the year. The economy still not great, and I'm still waiting on the stuff for retraining and see where I'm going to go with the retraining through the state of Connecticut. I sent off the paperwork. So far, I haven't heard anything. I did apply a few places, but they were either totally overstaffed or getting rid of staff now that the year has ended, or they either just have not gotten back to me. Let's see, complete audio gear for ministry. I'm working on that, probably about halfway done. There's still some more cables that I need to get. I still need to get speakers and maybe a DVD player, maybe not. I don't know if I'm going to go that total route. I do have all the lights that I need except for one and about 6 light stands. That's not going to be that expensive. That's going to be completed out sometime soon. Complete video gear for ministry. This is what I want to talk to about the cameras. I'm in need of about 3 cameras. Right now I'm using my iPad to record. I've been using my phone a lot, and the reason being is I dedicated my Sony ZV-1 for when I'm out to record, but truthfully, the GoPro that I'm not using right now that you've seen me use on my sit-down videos, the problem with that is it keeps switching from widescreen to linear. I prefer it to be in linear, but things just had a mind of its own. So I'm going to need to replace that because it gets a little jarring to watch the videos, especially if it starts doing it within like a few seconds apart. The other thing is I have a camcorder that I'm using up above for top down when I talk about products or different gear, and that thing, the flip out articulating screen, no longer works on that. If I flip it open, the camera goes absolutely hysterical with turning itself on and off and beeping non-stop. So I have to leave the screen closed. Luckily, I have plugged into a multi-camera switcher so that I can use just the clean streaming from that. So that's 2 cameras that need to be replaced. And like I said, I'm probably going to end up using this iPad a little bit more to record my sit-down videos. So yeah, that's the status of the video gear. The total cost of the cameras I'm going to need are probably going to run somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5,000 or so. Hoping maybe a little less, probably in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, but that's what I'm looking at for video gear. So that's going to take a while. Redo my website. I've got some ideas about that. I did close down all the other stores with the exception of my website. The reason being is a lot of the products were duplicated across the 3, and the other ones started charging more fees the sales on them went way down, and I was spending a way too long trying to maintain those for the worth that I was getting out of it. With this economy the way it is, sales have plummeted totally between the last year and a half. So all that is all shut down, except for my website, which has probably about 90% of the products that these other sites offered anyways. I just wish it offered a few that these other ones had. Start writing Christian books. That's in the works. I'll get more into that as those start coming up for sale. Start a preteen and teen ministry. That's something I'm looking to do through the church, although I've had some talks about it and dropped some comments, and it seemed to have fallen on deaf ears. So I'm not sure where that's going to go with that. Facilitate men's Bible studies. Now, our church does have Bible studies on Wednesday nights, so it's open to everyone, both men and women. But the men's Bible studies that I want to facilitate would be teaching more towards men, how men to lead a better Christian life, especially with upbringing of their children. Work on my spiritual walk as well as them, as far as our spouses go and everything. We do have a men's fellowship that meets, but we don't really teach, and more or less eat, pray together, talk about things, maybe watch a few videos. And there has been some discussions why we can't get the teaching up and running. So I don't know if we're going to address that, but that's something for another time. Ministry for the needy and the community, the homeless kids, backpacks for school, neighborhood cleanup, after disaster, doing work around people's homes just to help them out. That's something that I'm trying to get up and running. The homeless kits I am restarting. That's going to happen. The other ones are going to require other people to be involved, and I brought up discussions about this before, especially within my church. So we'll see, because again, that's something that has not taken off, but it's something that God's put on my heart. So we'll see about that. Scan in and shred all my old paperwork. That's in progress, and learning the new keyboard synthesizer that I just bought, that's in the process. Not sure what I'm going to do with my guitars, if I'm going to keep them or not, because it seems like I do like the keyboard better, and I'm able to learn that a little bit better than the guitar. So that's kind of where we are on the list at this point. I had to put my sweatshirt on. The temperature is dropping again. So the other thing is about the content on this channel. This year, I'm planning on having some more adventures than I did last year. I want to definitely get back into camping. I missed going camping last year with everything that was going on. Plan on doing a lot more fishing this year, hopefully. So, and I want to explore a few more trails, although my favorite time of the year to get out and hike is actually during the autumn because of the foliage. But definitely want to get out and explore a few more trails in the area. Hopefully do a little bit of road trips, which will involve camping and hiking and all that. So that's what I'm looking at for adventures, on keeping up the adventures on the channel. I know you all come to love that with my outdoor activity. As far as the bike and kayak go, I do have my bike up for sale. It hasn't sold yet, and I'm really not sure if I can get back into riding it with my back, and the fact that it's now moved down, also the pain into sciatica. So it's something that I've been debating. I would love to get an e-bike, but those are like $800 and up, so that's not in the budget right now. So we'll see. If the bike doesn't sell, I may try riding it again and see how that works out. I do got to get it back tuned up. It was tuned up when I parked it, but I do need to go ahead, oil it up, make sure it's tuned up anyway for anyone who buys it. So we'll see about getting back into riding it. As far as my kayak goes, that is lightweight, but like I mentioned before, there's a lot with your back as you're rowing it. So I don't know about using the kayak. That's something I'm going to have to try. And I'm trying to get back into all my activities, although there's a lot of hobbies that I am just going to have to put aside. I got way too many hobbies. I mean, I can't go through the entire list of all the hobbies that I have and truthfully, trying to take time for every single one of the hobbies that I have is really a way too much. So I'm cutting back on a lot of the hobbies, just keeping the core ones that I truly enjoy, and especially relating to photography and filmmaking, because I love making videos, I love making films, I love taking pictures. But some of the other hobbies that I've had, and now that I closed my online stores, with the exception of the products on my website related to my photography, I'm really not going to be doing a lot of the arts that I've done before. Like, I've got that picture back there. That's one of the last acrylics that I have. I sold all the other ones, and then I gave all the paints and the acrylic brushes away. So I do have some watercolor paints. I might still dabble in that, but yeah, there's just a lot of other crafts that I had to stop and get rid of, and looking at other hobbies that they just take up a lot of my time. When you get too many hobbies, it's hard to dedicate and really focus on, what's more important. So yeah, that's where we stand. Like I said, I'm still going to be doing some road trips. Hopefully, going to get more camping in this summer. We'll see how the weather happens and how my schedule goes. I'm still going to be fishing and all that. So those contents are still going to be on the channel. I'm still going to be teaching about the outdoors, and so that and the podcast are going to be like the main focus of the channel. So I hope you all have a good rest of 2025. We'll be seeing you in the videos, but just wanted to give a little bit of an update as to where we stand at the beginning of this new year and my vision for the new year, which basically continuing the outdoors and the Christian podcast. And once I get through all the other stuff, I'm just hoping to set it into coast mode where everything just happens very smoothly. So we'll see. It's still early in the year, and I'm having more hope for this year than how things went last year.